How are you? How was your day?
My day was good, ma'am. I'm with my family here in Mumbai. I visited Mumbai today, temple.
Okay. Okay, really good. Let's see, Kushbu, what do you think, okay, about the body language? Is something that you pay attention to? Like, do you use it? You don't? What about that?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. I think gesture is a part of communication, and the
Uh-huh.
way our hands move, the way our eyes move, and the way we react in front
Okay.
of others when we communicate.
Okay.
Then I think it's a powerful communication.
Okay. So you think that it is part of communication? Really good. And what are, let's see, what are, how can I say this so you can get it? What do you think, okay, about, for example, imagine that you are in a job interview, okay? So in a job interview, do you think that the body language is important and can say a lot of things about the candidate in that case or not?
Yes, yes, ma'am. It's
Okay.
important. Actually, non-verbal communication. Gesture is a
Okay.
non-verbal communication. When we communicate to each other, our gesture is like a very powerful, and it
Okay.
represent to others. I like your way, or I the way I talk.
Okay. Good. Tell me about how to communicate with your body language. What are your gestures, for example, when you are nervous? What do you do with your body, and or when you are anxious? Actually, when I am anxious or nervous because of, I don't know, because I have to do something, I beat my nails. Oh, and I also like doing like this, like waiting or shaking my hands a little bit. So in that case, what do you do, Pushbu?
And when I was there, then I think then I saw like a sad movement.
Okay.
No talk, just stop talking, stop smiling, and maybe just react like a sad.
Okay. Well, actually, and and what about? Tell me, okay. Tell me if you can guess if someone is lying because of his or her body language.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, someone likes me, then it's very easy to communicate. Smiling face and like eyes also smile sometime, I think.
Okay, good. Do you think that a eye contact is important?
Yes, very important. When communication, when we'll communicate, like due to Corona and this online video calling, I think camera should be on, and then we will contact very easily.
Okay, good.
Very
Tell me, tell me a time, okay, when, okay, you have found somebody was lying.
somebody was
Lying. That was
lying,
lying to you. Yeah,
lying.
and that you say, okay, you are lying, and you figure it out, okay, that that person was
I feel
lying.
very worried. That time I feel very worried how that person is telling me like I'm lying.
No, that the other person, that you figured out that the other person was lying to you.
Yes, ma'am. That time I feel very worried and very sad. How can you react like that?
Ah, okay. And did you say something or you
Yes.
let it go?
No, I think no. I'm not doing like that type of work or maybe such kind of work. Why are you lying about all people in front of all the people?
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing like that.
Okay. And how are the greetings in India?
Greetings, ma'am. Here like a namaste kind of like a please welcome.
Okay.
Namaste.
Okay. Do you shake hands in some cases or not?
Ma'am, yes, when we were work in office or maybe just hug. like my friends or my family member very close to me, then we will hug, or maybe sometime like a shake hands only. But that time we stopped shake hands, like please welcome and namaste.
Okay, good. So the only moment and that you shake hands actually is going to be in that case, in that situation.
Yes.
Okay, and when you when you shake hands firmly, okay, when you shake hands firmly, do you think that it is good or it is bad? Do you see like something is, for example, here where I live nowadays, if you shake hands firmly, okay, it is a way actually of saying that you trust on the other person, that and also that you feel confident. Does it happen the same the same thing in India or not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we shake hands sometimes very in a normal kind of way, just
Okay.
kind of gesture. Shake hands only, but sometimes we shake hands like a very tightly. Then showing like an impression of in front of other person, like maybe very softly shake hand, or maybe very like a tight hug.
Ah, okay, really good. And have you ever seen something strange? I don't know. Do you know, for example, Japan, more about the culture that they don't shake hands actually. They bow and that's it. So that it's like similar to India, let's say, more or less. But and what do you think about with the social media and communication? Do you think that because of the social media that the body language is very difficult to show through the social media? For example, when we chat, okay, is it difficult to show like our body language, or maybe here now that we are like through a camera?
Yes, ma'am, it's very difficult to show. For me, it's very difficult, like online camera classes.
Okay.
It's very difficult to me to handle online classes with camera. Sometimes it's switched off. When I'm not in mood, then I switched off my camera. But when I'm in mood, then I switch on, and then I will
Ah,
classes.
so you do it.
Yes.
Well, but I think that when you have classes through a camera, it's a really good practice, you know,
Yes. Good.
because learning English or speaking is like a sport. You have to practice and practice and practice. Even you make mistakes, you know, but the body language when we learn, and actually when we learn and when we communicate, because learning English is a way of communicate your ideas in another language that it is not your mother tongue. So that is really, really good. Kushbu, thank you so much for your answers, okay? See you next class. Bye-bye. Okay, today, who's next? Who's next? Kushbu, you are done. Well, here I have another student. So, I don't know. Yuvraj
Pratap Singh.
Okay, good. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Sorry?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
How are you?
I am. No, ma'am. Just I want to know how are you too?
I am really good. I am a little bit tired, but I am good. What about you? How was your day today?
Yes, ma'am. It went fantastic because it was Mahashivratri today, and we all the members of my family were engaged totally in worship of Lord Shiva today, ma'am.
Ah, okay. And why are you practicing English with me today?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, my goal is to become a motivational speaker in coming days, and especially in English language. As I feel that I am not very good in English, or you can say in spoken English, but
Okay.
yeah, that was my problem, and it was challenging for me that I had to improve my this particular skill for better fluency, and according to my goal and dream, I had to overcome these weaknesses outside. uh, yes, ma'am, and I'm working hard for this particular goal, ma'am. For this
Okay, very
purpose,
good.
yes, ma'am.
Now, do you give some speech, right? Like with motivational speech, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And in that case, when was the first time that you did that? When was it? Because it is really important what you do.
Yes, ma'am. According to me, the first motivational uh, thought that came inside me is that there should be definitely a dream for everybody, ma'am, and it should be big. And without having dream and without having big dream, if you want to become successful in your life, if you want to be renowned person, that it is almost impossible for anyone to be succeed. And yes, ma'am.
So it is important for you to do it.
Yes, ma'am. That's why.
Okay,
Uh,
that's why. Continue, please.
yes, ma'am. It motivates me to big dream and to work harder and harder regarding your goal, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now, in this case, okay, do you use your body language to help you to express actually your ideas?
Yes, ma'am. As I think that gesture plays a vital role for communication, and according to me, there should be no mismatching between our body language and between our body language and spoken words, whatever we are speaking
Okay.
to someone, and our body language should not be different than our spoken words, ma'am. It should be it should be matching with our language, our
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Our gestures should be matching with our spoken words, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, so you have to put your ideas and your body language together, right? You have to do this like, bam,
Yep.
okay?
Whatever we are speaking with anyone should look confident, and it is possible. Yes, ma'am. If we try to use our eye contact all the time talking with anyone, then
Okay.
definitely it makes that person also confident in her eyes, or you can say it is easy for him or her to believe in you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how do you show confidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Your body
Yes, ma'am.
language.
Yes, ma'am. Only by keeping our eyes all the time uh, up and trying to face him in we should try to keep our eyes all the time in his or her eyes, ma'am, all the time. By this
Okay.
we can look confident, ma'am.
Okay. So you keep eye contact,
Yes,
right?
ma'am, all the
With
time.
the other person.
While
Okay.
talking with yes, ma'am. While talking with anyone, ma'am, to look
Okay.
confident.
And what about moving your hands?
Yes, ma'am. Moving our hands is also a very good. You can say it plays a vital role while communicating, ma'am. if we don't all the time, if we hold our hands tightly or keep our hands tightly, don't
Okay.
move. Yes, ma'am. It means if you look serious all the time, it is hard to make uh, new relationship with someone, ma'am.
Yes,
You should
exactly.
not
Yeah,
look.
because,
You should not look very serious
um,
for any stranger, ma'am.
well, actually, that is true because in my past, okay, I used to be very serious, you know, and now that we have this type of classes, it is very important. Like your voice, it is part of your communication, right? The way that you look at the other person as well, your body language, for example, when you want to say something or when I want to share, you know, I move my hands like this. Not all the time, you know, because it is not necessary actually, okay? But well, it is important to know how to use your body language. Now, I am going to ask you the same question that I asked you to Kushbu, okay? And she said something really interesting about it. Let's see, what do you say? Can you guess if someone is lying with the body language of the other person or not?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I am trying to get mastery to read anyone's body language because it is mandatory for me, especially as a motivational speaker, that how someone's reaction is going on. If it is
Okay.
positive, then it should be look positive through his body language. And as you have asked a question, not very simple question, but it is tough. But if I try to find that someone who is telling a lie in front of me, that it looks from his body language, because at that point of time he or she is getting his or her head down, and sometimes if kids are telling lie, that they are heading down, not only heading down, but at that point of time with a smiling, they keep their heads down, ma'am. And this type of things, and their gestures uh, uh, looks not very good at that time, and they don't use their hands properly, or they don't try to make eye contact with you, and
Really important.
and
Because when you
by
make, sorry to interrupt, because when you make
by,
eye contact, right, you feel connected with the other person, like you make that connection, you know, because it seems
yes,
like
ma'am.
I am pay attention to you. I mean, what you are saying. If I am looking to another, I don't know, to somebody else, so I say, okay, hey, like, are you paying attention to what I'm saying? And that is like to make eye contact, to smile, right? Do you smile or not?
Yes,
When you
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I like smiling, ma'am, but not all the time.
Why not? But you have to smile. Well, it
Yes,
depends on
ma'am.
what you say.
Yes, ma'am. It is due to my profession that a smiling face is very good, and a smiling is very necessary according to scientific reason, ma'am. And I love smiling. But all the time, if you start laughing, then students may think that you are not very serious uh, about them, or you can say that about their subjects, and they can start reacting negatively to you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in this case, do you think that you have to improve your body language or not when you speak in front of people?
Yes, ma'am. My body language should definitely move in front of in front of someone while communicating, ma'am, and it should move properly. We should use our eyes properly. We should move our hands properly, and whatever you can say, our whole and soul body should act very good according to our spoken words at that point of time, whatever we are saying, and it should look that it should be matching with your body language at that
Okay.
time, ma'am.
Okay, really good. Now the last question that I have for you is going to be, what would you do, okay, if you
Yes.
go to a job interview?
Yes,
What would
ma'am.
you do? How would be your body language?
Yes, ma'am.
Formal?
While giving an interview for any job, ma'am, I should look confident.
Okay, that is the
Yes,
most
ma'am.
important.
I should look confident whatever I am speaking to my interviewer, and whatever I am answering, the question that is asked to me, uh, I should look confident while answering any question, ma'am. And it is possible not only by my giving words, whatever I am speaking, it should be matched with my body language too. And if my body language is saying something different than my spoken words, then I will definitely not look confident, and I can lose my job, ma'am.
But actually, would you imagine that you get into the meeting room, right, where you're going to have the interview, and the interviewer doesn't give you his, in this case, his hand to shake hands firmly? Like, would you do it, or is something that if the other person doesn't it, you don't do it?
If someone is trying to shake his or her hands with me, definitely, if I am in any professional meeting, at that point of time, I will definitely shake my hands with him or her, and according and I will try to put same amount of pressure according to him or her through my hands with him or her, ma'am.
Okay. So would you, and well, actually, it is said that when you shake hands firmly, you make eye contact, you smile when it is necessary for you to do so, you look confident. And when somebody asks you a question, and I am not looking at you, okay, when I answer it, it is supposed, right, that you are lying. What do you think about that? Is that true or not?
Yes, ma'am. I have already told that uh, our body language should match with our spoken words, and
Okay.
if
Good.
it tells if my body language tells some different story than my spoken words, then the reaction of that particular person who is communicating with me at that point of time will not be positive, and I would not be in position to get my desired outcome that I want to achieve, ma'am.
Okay, good. Do you train your body language or not?
Yes, ma'am. I try to train my body language. I try to correct my body language while any kind of communication with anyone, ma'am. And it is,
And how do you do
and
it? Sorry.
yes, ma'am. I try to just, I am telling you that I try to correct my body language or improve my body language by standing in front of any mirror, ma'am. And I, yes, ma'am, I try to practice to speak, and I try to by practicing in any big mirror, and I
Okay.
practice by doing so, ma'am.
And do you record yourself, or just like you stand in front of the mirror and that's it?
Beg me pardon, ma'am. Once again, tell me, what are you asking?
Yes, of course. If you, for example, if you use, I don't know, your cell phone or something like that to record yourself, like in
Yes,
front
ma'am.
of the camera. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I used to watch my videos
Uh-huh.
of, yes, ma'am, of each and every class, that what is my body language saying, or during my conversation, was it matching with my spoken words or not? And I used to record such kind of practices while I do this kind of practices by standing in front of any mirror, ma'am. I
Okay.
record on a smartphone, ma'am.
Okay, really good. Well, this is our first conversation that we are having. So hope to, well, I know already Kushbu. So hope, okay, to see you next Thursday, okay? So we can keep talking, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, it was a pleasure to meet you. Bye-bye. Bye, Kushbu. Have a good day. Well,